Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm your host, Michael Tabor, and getting right into this. How great is it to be alive today? September of 2019, with the internet. Everyone is dialed in, or at least most people are connected. 7 billion people on planet Earth, and obviously not everyone has the internet or whatever, but billions, right? I don't know what the percentage is. Is it half of humanity who is on the internet? We're all connected. It's awesome. One of the great things I love about today is you could basically find out anything. It's like the infinite library right here. Right here. I mean, can you imagine? Just imagine, like, you have access to the world's greatest library, right? This thing here, the sum of all human information, almost, right? So, and what I think is really awesome is that you could go on YouTube and take courses for free. You could sit on some lectures from Yale or Stanford for nothing. There's a thing, this is what I'm going to talk about today. There are Yale courses. All right, you probably can't see that because of the glare. But Yale courses, and I subscribe to this channel. And I'll tell you what, I've learned more, let's say in the past 5, 6, 7 years, than I have in my whole life before the internet. Right? And I have a degree in journalism. But yeah, I'm telling you what, a year going on to Yale courses or Stanford, you could sit right in. So I'm going to talk about the 2 best courses or semesters, if you will. There are a bunch of them, but I'll tell you what, they're both introductory. I believe they're both introductory courses. Anyway, so the first one, and I talked about this gentleman before, is Robert Sapolsky. Robert Sapolsky, just plug in his name, and it's an introductory course, or maybe it's mid-level. And let me see if I could find. Let me just see if I could find that lecture series here. I had someone else, Robert Sapolsky, and okay, the name of the course is Robert Sapolsky, Introduction to Human Behavioral Biology. Okay, so, and this is from Stanford. And you subscribe to that. University. Okay. And he's the best, Robert Sapolsky.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
He's funny, he's the fucking best. Okay, let me just pause here. Okay, 26 classes. So, right? So that's what, almost more, 26 hours? It's a whole semester. Okay, so you got Robert Sapolsky's course from Stanford. And now I want to get into Shelley Kagan from Yale. Shelley Kagan he's been doing this for a while, but he teaches a course on death. All right, 26 hours. There's Shelley Kagan. Let me show this here. And here we go. Yeah, his course today, and it's it's an introductory course, I believe, in philosophy, but the nature of persons, dualism versus physicalism. I've watched this 3 times, all 26 episodes, 3 times. It's same with the Robert Sapolsky. But let me start out a little bit with Shelley here.
All right, so this is Philosophy 176. The class is on death. My name is Shelley Kagan, and the very first thing I want to do is to invite you to call me Shelley. That is, if we meet on the street, you come talk to me during office hours, you ask some question. Shelley's the name that I
This is the introductory course. Let me pause it. He's the best. Shelley Kagan is all. Both those guys, Robert Sapolsky, Shelley Kagan, big heroes of mine. So let me just give you a little taste of, I'll talk about Robert Sapolsky another time. I've already done a recording on him. But a little taste of this course, this 26 lecture series, Shelley Kagan on death. Let me ask you this, people. If you took, let's say, a magic pill that allowed you to live forever, right? This magic pill, all you do is every morning, whoop, you take your magic pill, wash it down with some coffee. Pill, pill that makes it possible to live forever. You never die. Would you be interested in that? Immortality. Like if God said to you, or let's just say some supernatural agent said, hey, do you want to live forever? What's your answer? So Shelley Kagan, and I think it's midway through the semester, and he poses that, again, the lecture series, the course is on death. And one of the so again, it's like midway, and he's going like immortality. Let's think about that. Would you want to live forever? Now, if you don't give it much thought, you would go, well, yes, right? Your impulsive, your first thought would be like, of course, nobody wants to die. But he goes, just think about that for a bit. Just pause. And he goes, I would not want to live forever. Think about that. So he gets into it. It's like, let's just say, we're not talking about 100 years or 1,000 years or 10,000 years or 100,000 years or 1,000,000 years or even 1 billion or even 1 trillion. It's a frightening thought to think about eternity. Never, ever, ever, ever. It gives me anxiety. Gives everyone anxiety, right? Something that does not end. So try to imagine. And he goes on, he goes, let's say I have all this time and I have so many interests. And he goes, well, you know what? I love philosophy. So I'm going to spend all my time to study all the different areas of philosophy. Eastern philosophy, Western, metaphysics, meta-ethics, this and that. I'm going to read every single book that ever was on philosophy. Maybe it takes you a couple of 100 years. After 250 years, you're pretty much, all these big questions. And, obviously philosophy is endless. But then he goes, well, you know what? Chinese astrology. I want to spend 100 years. You're the expert. I don't know, anything. I'm interested in this type of astronomy or political science or impressionistic art. And he goes on and on and on. Let's say you spend 1,000 years. Let's try to imagine 1,000 years just studying the Impressionists. He says, even still, there's going to get to a point, like say after year, I don't know, 60,000, probably even way less than that. You're going to be like, I have studied everything under the sun, and I just want it to end. Now, he came to that conclusion, and there is a guy who wrote a paper on this. I think his name is Williams. I'm not sure of his first name. Bernard Williams, yes. There's a paper on that. You could find it on the internet. On that question, would you want to live forever? I think it's very interesting. I'll tell you my answer, Michael Tabor, 100%. And I've thought this through. Yes, I can imagine you like thinking about it. Yeah, I can imagine getting to the point where you're bored with everything. You're tired of it. But you got to think a little more out of the box. And I say that obviously you're going to get smarter. And there's another thing. Provided you have good health, provided you have your cognitive function is 100% and your body's 100%. If you're sick, fuck that, obviously. And even if there's some decline with mental and cognitive function, that would not be good at all either, memory. This is the hypothetical is if you have your body and your mind and you're growing. So year 1,000, how much smarter are you going to be than, say, today? How about year 10,000? If you start growing even exponentially, and then you're going to be thinking of things that we can't even imagine today. So being at that high level, the idea of eternity, in my opinion, is not repugnant. All right, so, okay, let me end it at this. So to recap, Robert Sapolsky, go on Stanford lecture series. Shelley Kagan from Yale. How great is life? Good books, good friends, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding.